Hi everyone, Children's Librarian Alicia here. Welcome back. Happy Monday. And today I'll be recommending more ebooks that you can read at home while the library is closed. I'll tell a bad joke and give you a couple of ideas for things to do around the house today. So first we'll start off with our joke. And today we have a drummer joke for you. And it goes like this. How many drummers does it take to change a light bulb? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So all of our books today are about music and dance. So if you feel like listening to some music, doing a little dance, here are some books that you might want to read. Our first book is a picture book called Wiggle by Doreen Cronin. And you can read this one on Tumble Books, so no waiting list at all. And this is a fun picture book about movement for very, very little kids. It invites you to wiggle and move along with the book, so it's really interactive and it's great for toddlers who just can't sit still. And it's also really silly. There's a page about wiggling in your underwear, and a warning that wiggling with your breakfast could lead to that meal ending up on your head. So you will giggle a lot with this one. It's really fun. The second book I'd like to talk about is called The Man with the Violin by Kathy Stinson. You can read this one on Tumble Books as well, and I've recommended one of Kathy Stinson's books before. She's the one who wrote Red is Best, which is a very well-known book. And this is another picture book, but it's for slightly older children. It's a bit more thoughtful and serious. And it's based on a true story about a man named Joshua Bell, who was a famous violinist, world class. And he went down to the Washington, D.C. subway to play a free concert. And it was sort of part of an experiment to see if people would actually stop and listen to a world-class violinist if he was just wearing plain clothes and playing like a busker in the subway. And the book focuses on a young boy named Dylan who notices the beautiful music, but he can't get his mom to slow down and listen to it. She's in such a hurry. And a lot of other people hurry by too without realizing that this is this world-class violinist playing here. All day, though, Dylan can't forget the music, and he eventually does manage to make his mom stop and listen. There's a note at the end of this book that gives a little bit more information about the real Joshua Bell and what he did, and it's just a gorgeous book about the power of music, of slowing down, and appreciating beauty all around us, which is really nice. And you can also watch a video of Kathy Stinson reading the book herself, while being accompanied by 3 violin players. So I've put a link in the description to that YouTube video. The third book I'd like to recommend is one about dance, and it's called He Who Dreams by Melanie Florence. And this is a chapter book for older children and teenagers. And it's about a boy named John who stumbles into an Indigenous dance class and just falls in love with it. He starts skipping his soccer practices and neglecting some of his other responsibilities, and he doesn't tell his friends or his family about his new passion for dancing. It's kind of a secret. So John needs to figure out how to stop hiding, because that's something that he'll need to do if he wants to continue his dance pursuits. He has to deal with teasing and hostility from other boys, both on his soccer team, and he is half Irish, half Cree, and so he deals with racism from both ends. The Indigenous boys at the cultural center where he's taking his dance lessons harass him for not being Cree enough, thinking that he's too white. And so this is it's a short book, and it's got fairly easy vocabulary, so it's easy to read in that sense, but it also doesn't shy away from dealing with those topics of prejudice and racism. It's a good book about seeking out connections to family and culture, finding yourself, being brave. And Melanie Florence is a great Indigenous Canadian author who's also got several other books under her belt for children and teens, so check her out. And my last book is another one for our chapter book readers called The First Rule of Punk by Celia C. Perez. And this is a book about a 12-year-old girl named Maria Luisa, but she goes by Malou. And she loves rock music, the punk scene. She makes zines and skateboarding. And so she's really set in her personality. But when she starts at a new school, she needs to kind of figure out how to express herself without getting into trouble and without disappointing her very straight-laced mom as well. She does find some other kids at school who share her interests and they form a band, but will they be able to keep it with an unsupportive administration who doesn't really understand punk and rock? Malou is a really great character who I think will speak to a lot of kids. She really believes in doing what she thinks is right, no matter what the consequences are, but she also has that very real impulse to avoid getting into trouble and avoid disappointing authority figures. Malou's zines and comics are interspersed within the book, so it's kind of fun, but it's not a graphic novel. Still, I think it will really appeal to kids who like graphic novels like Raina Telgemeier's Sisters and Guts drama, or other ones like Roller Girl or Swing It Sunny. It's kind of in the same genre, so I think kids who like that will really enjoy this book too. Our activity idea for today is to make some of our own musical instruments while we're stuck here at home. If you don't have a musical instrument, that doesn't mean you can't make some music with some stuff that you might have lying around. There are a lot of different things that you can make. I've included a link to a page where there are 52 different ideas for homemade musical instruments. And some are very, very easy and barely require anything. Some are a little more complicated, so you can choose something that will work for you. You can make shakers and noisemakers by filling old containers with pretty much anything, pebbles, things you've got lying around, odds and ends. There's a great tutorial for how to make a kazoo out of nothing but popsicle sticks and elastic bands. And there's the classic water xylophone where you fill jars with different amounts of water and then bang away on them. So the possibilities are endless. So go make some music, dance along. So I hope that gave you some ideas, and we will see you next week. Bye.